It'll be a time that you will call either officer or young man up to present ourselves. La Yasha'Allah. Majid, which means to stand. Wapanyahak with dumb and face the east. We're going to do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew, by the way, the east will be this way. The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew, Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kwadash, Hayat, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakavka, Daba'a, Ratazaka, Hayat, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Hayat, Bashamayim, Nathanganawa, Lacham, Kao, Yawam, Wasalak Nawa, Kabawak Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kabawak Yanawa, Wala'a, Tabaya'a Nawa, Banasayawan, Abal, Hawashai Nawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Watapara, La Awalamyam, Aman. In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Hakak, the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shah, Babukosha, Nathanawa, Hakak, Hakak, Larapa'a, Kal Machala, Wakal Marawa, Hakak, Hakak, Latahar, Hamatazarayim, Hakak, Lahakuyim, Hamathyum, Hakak, Arahawa, Hatama'ala, Lagabashan, Bashim Yahusha, the Wadaman. In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew, Asha'ah, Ayanya, Al-Haharyim, Ma'ayan, Yaba'a, Isaiah, Ma'aim, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'arataza, Al Yathan, Lamawat, Ragalka, Al Yanawam, Shamarka, Hadna, La'a Yanawam, Wala'a, Yashan, Shawamor, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamorka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al Yad, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'a, Yakaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamorka, Makaurai, Yashamor, Afnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamor, Tazaafka, Wabawaaka, Ma'itha, Wa'id, Iwalam, Aman. In the English, I will lift up mine eyes into the hills, from which cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. So be it. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, al Gamaya Laka, al Tafarash, wa al Tashakwat, Al Kayahana Awayabyaka Yahama Yawan Wamashanayaka Nasha'awa Ra'ash Aula Imaka Ya Irayamwa Sawad Wayataya Aitazawa Altazapawanyaka Amorwa Lakawa Wanakakidam Magoya Wala'a Yazakar Sham Yasha'ala Iwan Kaya Nawa Aitazawa La Yakadwa Auyaka Barya Yakarafwa Ahoya Adawam Washima Ailayam Mawaaba Wahagoyam Gabal Wa Imaran Wa Imalak Palashat Am Yasabya Tazawar Gama Ashawar Nalawa Imam Hayawa Zarawai Labanya Lawat Salah Aishadaham Kamadian Kasayasara'a Kayabyan Banahal Kwayashwan Nashamadwa Ba'ayanda Ara Hayawa Daman La Adama Shayatamwa Narayamawa Ka'irab Wakazaaba Wakazabak Wakazalmanai Kaul Nasayakamwa Ashur Amorwa Nayavashah Lanawa Af Na'awa Alahayam Alahaya Shayatamwa Kagalgala Kakwash Lapanya Raka Slaki Lapanya Raka Ka'ash Taba'ira Ya'ira Wakalahaba Talahat Haryam Khan Tharadatma Basa'ibaka Wabasawapaka Tabahalam Mala'a Panyaham Kwalawad Wayabakwaswa Shamka Yahawa Yabashwa Wayabahalwa Aya Ay Wayahaparwa Waya Abadwa Waya Da'ayawa Kaya Atha Shamka Yahawa Labadka Al Dewan Al Kal Rataza Aman. In the English, keep not thy silence, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined with them. They have opened the children of Lot, Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kasan, which passed the indoor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Ored, and like Zered, yea, all their princes, as Zabah, and as Amunah, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth for wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, like it. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shade, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know whose name alone is Yahweh, art the Most High over all the earth. So be it. We're going to get the blessings in the Hebrew. Brakatha Yahweh, wa Yahweh Shai, wa Mayaka Allah, wa Alahayam, Matazab Ya'ah, Alawak Yahana, Ha Alawakyam, Ha Saranyam, Ha Kudazayanyam, Ha Hoyayayam, wa Ha Agwafyam, Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, the water Aman. In the English, bless you Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yahana, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, thank you, so be it. We're going to get blessed Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Barak Lanawa, Wa Yasha Allah, Waha Bayat Saparya, Barak, Rapah, Magun, Hagun, Bashim Yahushua, The water of mud. What we just said in the English, only me up here. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless us and Israel and the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. Sar, which means to turn. Yeshabia, which means to now be seated. Everyone can now be seated. So Shalom Israel, with the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group nor any other Christian organization. All right, this is the Sabbath service class. All right, this is very, very important for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to understand how important it is. All right, how important it is to attend the Sabbath service. This is where you learn. All right, this is where you learn how to speak your language. This is where you learn your culture. This is where you learn who you are. Like, that's something so important that Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans take very, very lightly. And the Lord does not want us to take those type of things lightly. Like, the Lord wants us to understand how important it is to hold fast to our culture and the traditions that He passed down to us. We don't want to take that for granted. And a lot of these, we don't realize, just knowing our history and knowing who we are and fixing the identity crisis within the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community is going to fix Black people. It's going to fix the Latinos. It's going to fix the Native Americans. No one understands that this identity crisis that we have within the Black community kills us. It destroys us. There's so much that I could go into. There's so much that the Bible goes into when it comes to Blacks and Latinos and Native Americans having a complete identity crisis, and we absolutely don't know who we are, and it causes so many problems, all right, and so many dangers within the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community. That's why it's important to come to class. That's why it's important to come to the Sabbath service. That's why it's important to keep the law. That's why it's important. That's why it's important to learn your language. Like, all of this is important, and we have to start taking it serious. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it, man. We're gonna get Judges. We're gonna get Judges chapter 3, all right, in the Hebrew, and we're gonna start at verse 1, all right. So we're gonna be in Shapatiyim, all right. That's how you would say Judges, all right. Judges is Shapatiyim in the Hebrew. Shapatiyim, the book of Judges. Let me also get it in the English, all right. Have that set up. Judges chapter 3, verse 1 in the Hebrew. It's like a Wa'ala Hagoryim Ashar Hanayak Yahweh Lanasartha Bama. It's like a Lanasawa Bam. It's like a Bama Af Yasha'ala Af Kal Ashar La'a Yadayawa Af Kal Malachama. It's like a Malachamawa Kana'ain. Verse 2. Rak Lama'ain Da'if Darawak Banya Yasha'ala Lalamadma Malachama Rak Ashar Lapanyam La'a Yadaiwan. Verse 3. Hamaf Harak Slaki Saranyam Palashafyam Wakal Hakanaanya Wahatazayatnaya Wahakarya Yashab Har Halaban, like Halabanwan, Mahar, Ba'ayo, Haramwan, Aid, Labah, Hamat. Verse 4. Wayahayawa, Lanasawa, Bama, Af, Yasha'ala, Lada'aif, Hayasham, like it, Hayashamaiwa, Af, Matazawat. Verse 5. Wabanya Yasha'ala Yashabwa Bakwarab Hakanaanya Hakafya Waha Amoria Wahaparia, it's like a Haparaz, what's like it, Wahaparazia Wahahoria Wahayawab, it's like it, Wahayabawasya. Verse 6. Wayakwakwa, like it. Wayakwakwa ah bana sayaham. It's like it. Bana wafyaham. It's like it. Bana wafyaham. Laham lanashiam wa'af Banawafyaham, Nathanwa, Labanyaham, it's like a Labanyaham, Waya Ibadwa, Af, Alahayim. Verse 7. Waya Aishawa, Banya, Yasha Allah, Af, Harai, Ayanya, Yahweh, it's like a Yahweh, Waya Shakakwa, it's like a Waya Shakakwa, Af, Yahweh, Alahayim, Waya Ibadwa, Af, Haba'alyum, Wa'af, it's like a what a sharwa. All right, that's the first 7 verses. Let me get it in the English. All right. Judges chapter 3, verse 1 in the English. Now these are the nations which the Lord left to prove Israel by them, even as many of Israel as had not known all the wars of Canaan. Like this is going to come to a time that we were supposed to do what the Lord said to do, and was to take all these nations out of the land of Israel. Like that was a order from the Lord since Deuteronomy, was to take these nations and completely destroy them, wipe them out, and take them out of this land. We did not obey that order. We chose to keep them as servants, and we chose to keep them as second-class citizens. And now you have a whole bunch of Canaanites in the land, and a little bit of Jebusites and Perizzites and all this type of stuff. And now, all right, not all of Israel knew the wars. All right, not all of the nations, not all of Israel knew the wars of Canaan. There were brothers and sisters being born that did not know the Lord, that did not see the Lord in action, did not see the Israelites go to war after war after war and to establish the nation of Israel that we know and see today. Well, I'm talking about during that time, during the time of Joshua, during the time of Judges and things like that. Like no one's seen that before. Verse 2, only that the generations of the children of Israel might know to teach them war, at least such as before knew nothing thereof. Like the point of this as well was to prove Israel, to set by a standard, all right, to compare to a standard. The Lord wanted Israel to live by a standard. The Lord also wanted Israel to know how to go to war, how to fight, how to battle, how to scrap, how to throw hands, knuckle challenge, all this type of stuff. The Lord wanted Israel to know all of these things. You understand? The Lord wanted Israel to know this. All right. He wanted Israel to know what it means to go to war, what it means to fight, what it means to truly be separate from these other nations of people. And the Lord was going to prove Israel by keeping these other nations in the land, to prove Israel, to set Israel by a standard, to compare Israel by a standard. Salakia. Verse 3, namely, 5 lords of the Philistines and all the Canaanites and the Sidonians and the Hivites that dwelt in Mount Lebanon, from Mount Baal Hermon unto the entering in of Hamath. So now these are the nations that are here. Verse 4, and they were to prove Israel by them. So these nations were here to prove Israel, to know whether they would hearken unto the commandments of the Lord, which he commanded their fathers by the hand of Moses. Like this is the reason why these other nations are here, because the Lord wanted to prove Israel to see, are they going to obey me or are they going to obey these other gods? Like the Lord wants blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. The Lord wants to prove so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right, to see if we're going to obey him or we are going to serve him instead of the Republican Party, instead of the Democratic Party, instead of that Christian God in the Christian church, beside that Muslim God in that Islam mosque, beside that Catholic God in that Catholic church, or that Buddhist God in that Buddhist temple, or those Egyptian gods in that Egyptian, or whatever the hell it's called, in Egyptology. Like the Lord wants to see, are we going to obey him instead, or are we going to go follow these other gods and their culture and their customs and their traditions? Like this is why the Lord is doing this. The Lord is going to compare to a standard. Verse 5, and the children of Israel dwelt among the Canaanites, the Hittites, and Amorites, and Perizzites, and Hivites, and Jebusites. So the children of Israel also dwelt among these nations too. Salakia. Verse 7, and they took their daughters to be their wives. And they took their daughters to be their wives, and gave their daughters to their sons. and gave their daughters to their sons and served their gods. Like, we don't understand, like, this is what the Lord did not want to happen. All right? Like, this is why the Lord wanted us to be separate. This is why the Lord said, I severed you from other people. This is why the Lord said, I chose you to be holy and a special people, to be above all people. That's why the Lord said, do not give your daughters to marriage to their sons, or do not give your sons to their daughters in marriage. Like, the Lord said this for a reason. And here's the reason why. Because we started to serve their gods. All right? Verse 7, and the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord, because it was a very evil thing to go serve other gods outside of the God of this Bible, and forget the Lord their God. We completely forgot about the Lord. We forgot about how he took us out of Egypt. We forgot how he destroyed the Egyptians. We forgot how he opened up a hole in the earth. We forgot how he sent bread and fish out of the damn sky because of the murmurs of Israel. We forgot how he kept us in the wilderness for 40 years. Like, we completely forgot how he brought us into the land of Canaan, and he allowed us to win all of the wars and battles. Like, we completely forgot about the Lord. And serve Baalim and the groves. Like, we chose to serve another God outside of the God of the Bible, outside of the God of Israel. And that was an evil thing in the sight of the Lord. And the Lord never wanted us to serve and follow other gods. The God of this Bible is absolutely against a lifestyle like that. It is very evil to have. It's like it's very evil to do. Let's get Judges chapter 3, verse 8 in the Hebrew. All right, we're going to get the next 7 verses in the Hebrew. Shapatyam, Parak Shalash, verse Shamarna, which is verse 8. Wayachar at Yahweh, Bayasha'ala, Wayakam, it's like it, Wayamakaram, all right? It's like a Makar, it's like a Wayamakarma, Bayad, it's like a Kawashan, Rashai Thayam, Malak, Aram, Nahar, it's like a Naharyam, Waya Ibadwa, Banya Yasha Allah, Kawashan, Ra'aif, it's like a Rasha'aifyam, Shaman, it's like a Shamana, Shanyam. Verse 9. Waya, it's like Waya Za'aikwa, Banya Yasha Allah al Yahweh, Waya Kwam Yahweh, Mawash like it, Maya Sha'ai, Labanya Yasha Allah, Waya Wash Ya'ain, like it, Waya Wash Ya'ain, Ma'af, Aitan Ya Allah, Ban, Kwanaz, Akha, it's like it, Akya, it's like Akya, Kalab, Hakwatan, it's like a Hakwatan. Sorry, go to verse 8. Get back up to Laki about that. Hakwatan, or we like in verse 9. Hakwatan, Mamanwa, verse 10. Wathaya, Al-Yuwa, Racha, Yahweh, it's like it, Waya Shapat, Yasha Allah, Waya Tazah, Lama Lachama, Waya Thun, Yahweh, Bayadwa, Kawashan, Ra'aif, it's like it, Rasha'aifyam, Malak, Aram, with the eyes, Yada, it's like a Yadwa, Owl, Kawashan, Ra'aifyam. Verse 11, what the Quatan, it's like what the Shaquat, all right, what the Shaquat, Arataza, Aram, it's like a Arabayim, Shana, Wayam, it's like a Waya Shama, Wayama, it's like it, Wayama, Athanya Allah, Ban, Quanaz. Verse 12, Wayasakwa, Banya, Yasha Allah, La Aishawa, Harai, Ba'ayanya, Yahweh, Waya Chazak, it's like a Waya Chazak, Yahweh Af, Igal, it's like a Igalwan, Malak, Mawa'aba, Al, Yasha Allah, Al Kaya, Aishawa Af, Harai, Ba'ayanya, Yahweh, Verse 13. Waya asap al yawa af banya aiwan wa aimalak waya slagir wa aimalak slagir wa aimalak waya lak wayak. Get me down again. Slagir wa aimalak waya wayak af yasha Allah waya slagir waya yarash wa af aidor hatha slagir hathamoyim. Verse 14. Waya ibadwa banya yasha Allah af igalwan malak mawa'aba shaman shamarna aishar. It's like an aishara. It's like an aishara shana. All right, that's the first 14. That's the next 7. We're going to start at verse 8. Judges chapter 3, verse 8. Therefore, the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel. Like, this is a black man's book. The Lord was angry with Israel. He was hot with Israel. You know what I'm saying? The Lord was heated. The Lord was mad. The Lord was angry. And he sold them into the hand of the Tushanarish Ta'im, king of Mesopotamia. It's like it's Kushan. It's like Kushan Rishathaim, king of Mesopotamia. And the children of Israel served Kushan Rishathaim 8 years. So we served another nation of people 8 years because that was a punishment from the Lord, because the Lord was against us serving other gods. Verse 9, and when the children of Israel cried unto the Lord, all right, the Lord raised up a deliverer to the children of Israel, who delivered them, even Othniel, the son of Kenaz, Caleb's younger brother. Now this was spiritually Caleb's younger brother, not his actual younger brother, all right? Verse 10, and the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and he judged Israel, and went out to war. And the Lord delivered, all right, Shushan Rishathaim, king of Mesopotamia, into his hand, and his hand prevailed against Shushan Rishathaim, all right? So now we prevailed against this other nation of people, all right? This is the king of Mesopotamia, all right? If y'all did not know, the Mesopotamia area, that's like the Assyrian area. That's where like Assyria, Syria, Lebanon, all those places, the so-called Middle East. Verse 11, and the land had rest 40 years, and Othniel, the son of Kenaz, died. So Kenaz, all right, he was raised up to save the nation of Israel, to take the nation of Israel out of their captivity. Well, allow me to explain something to you. There was always a man that the Lord raised up to deliver the nation of Israel out of all the problems and all of the situations and all of the danger that they are in, that we are in. The Lord has always raised up a brother to do so, all right? And so happily, the Lord raised up commanding General Yohanan until Christ returns to take our people out of the danger that they are in, out of all the troubles and out of all the problems that we are in. The Lord raised up commanding General Yohanan to do so. He did not raise up T.D. Jakes. He did not raise up Al Sharpton, nor Jesse Jackson, not your Christian pastor, not Martin Luther King, not Malcolm X, none of your Islam religious leaders, none of you Egyptologists, none of your Buddhists, none of y'all spiritual energy believing in the stars. The Lord had nothing. The Lord did not raise any of you guys up. But I'll tell you who the Lord did raise up according to the scriptures and to the attributes and the characteristics of the priests and the prophets of the Lord, and that was commanding General Yohanan. Verse 12, and the children of Israel did evil again in the sight of the Lord. All right. And the Lord strengthened Eglon, the king of Moab, against Israel, because they had done evil in the sight of the Lord. So once again, because we did evil in the sight of the Lord, you can just imagine serving their gods, making marriages with their daughters, giving our sons to their daughters. You understand, like Serena Williams and Vanessa Williams and all these type of sisters that believe in having another nation as their husband, all right, or a brother like Kanye West with Kim Kardashian, Tiger Woods with some other nation of women. I don't know if she was like Korean. I think he has an Edomite woman now. I'm not sure, but the Lord is absolutely against it. The Lord does not want our people to go like what's that brother's name that was in Empire? What's that brother's name? I forgot his name. He'd be like Maine. It'll come to me. But the Lord is not. The Lord is against our people. All right. The Lord is against our people serving other gods, interracial marrying, and this was evil in the sight of the Lord. Verse 13. And he gathered unto him the children of Ammon and Amalek, and went and smote Israel and possessed the city of palm trees. All right. So we did evil on the side of the Lord. This nation, Ammon and Amalek, they went to smite Israel. All right. And they possessed the city of palm trees. They possessed one of our cities. Verse 14, Terrence Howard. That's what I'm thinking of. Terrence Howard. All right. Verse 14. So the children of Israel served Eglon, the king of Moab, 18 years. All right. This was a punishment from the Most High Power, because the Lord is trying to teach Israel that we are not to go and serve other gods and to do evil in the sight of him. All right. The Lord wants us to be completely separate. The Lord does not want us to serve their gods. The Lord wants us to serve him and only him. And the Lord cannot specify that enough. All right. With that being said, Amadim, which means to stand, just us up here. Just us up here. You can relax a little too. La Yashal. This will be the time that the priests of the Lord, all right, the troopers, young men, and the brothers in the school will come and salute the Torah. Amadim, which means to stand, so everyone can now stand. Wapanyahawadum, and face the east. The east will be this way. All right, we're going to do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew, Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Quedash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakavka, Daba'a, Batazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kuwa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nathundanawa, Lacham, Kaul, Yawam, Wasalakanawa, Habawaknawa, Kasalaknawa, Habawakanawa, Wala'a, Nawa, Banasayawan, Abal, Hawashai Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Watapara, La Awalamyam, Aman. In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever, so be it. Hakak, the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Babukusha, Nathundanawa, Hakak, Lava Pa'a, Chamachala, Wakal Marawa, Hakak, Latahor, Habadazarayim, Hakak, Lahapuyim, Hamathium, Hakak, Al-Rahawa, Hatama Allah, Lagarshan, Bashim Yahawashah, Wadaman. In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahawashah, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the leprous, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahawashah, thank you, so be it. We're going to do Psalms 121 in Hebrew. Asha'a, Ayanya, Ohohoyim, Ma'ayan, Yaba'a, Isaiah, Ma'aim, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'arakaza, Al-Yathan, Lamawat, Regalika, Al-Yanawam, Shemoraka, Hana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yadashan, Shawamor, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shemoraka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al-Yad, Yanyanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'a, Yakaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamorka, Makarai, Yashamor, Afnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamor, Tazaafka, Wabawaaka, Ma'aita, Wa'ai, Awalam, Aman. In the English, I will lift up mine eyes into the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth, and even forevermore, so be it. Let's get Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Al-Hayam, Al-Damayalaka, Al-Takorash, wa Al-Tashakwat, Al-Kayahana, Al-Yabdaka, Yahama Mama Shanayaka, Nasha'awa, Ra'ash, Al-Imaka, Ya-Ibrayamwa, Sawad, Wayata Ya'ai Tazawa, it's like an altar of Pawanyaka, Amorwa, Lakawa, Wanakakadam, Magoya, Wala'a, Yazakor, Shem Yasha'ala, Iwad, Kaya, Nawa'ai Tazawa, Lab, Yakadwa, Aldaka, Barya, Yakarafwa, Ahoya, Arawam, Wayashama'alayam, Mawa'aba, Wahagoyam, the ball, Wa'amawad, Wa'amalak, Palashat, I'm Yashabya, Tazawar, Gama Ashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zarawai, Labanya Lawa, Salah, Aishalaham, Kamadian, Kasayasara'a, Kayabyan, Balahal, Koyashwan, Nashamadwa, Ba'ayanda Ara, Hayawa, Daman, La Adama, Shagathamwa, Narayatmawa, Ka'irab, Wakaza'aba, Wakazabat, Wakazalmanai, Kaul, Nasayakamwa, Ashur, Amorwa, Nayavasha, Lanawa, Afna'awa, Alahayam, Alahaya, Shayathamwa, Kagalgala, Kwakwash, Lapanyavaka, Ka'ash, Baba Iba, Wakalahaba, Talahat, Hoyam, Khan, Thabadatma, Basa Ibaka, Wabasawapaka, Tabahalam, Mala'a, Panyaham, Kalawad, Wayabakwaswa, Shamka, Yahawah, Yabaswa, Wayabahalwa, Ai, Wayahaparwa, Wayabadwa, Wayadaiwa, Kaya, Atha, Shamka, Yahawah, Labadka, Al-Yawan, Al-Kal, Harakaza, Aman. In the English, keep not thy silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are conferred against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Israelites, of Moab, and the Hagarenes, the Baal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, as the brook of Kasan, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb and like Zeeb, yea, all their princes, as Zabah and as Zamunah, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth for wood, and as the flame sets the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the Most High over all the earth. So be it. We're going to get the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh, wa Yahweh Shai, wa Mayaka Allah, wa Alahayim, Matazab Ya'ah, Alawak Yahana, Ha Alawakyim, Ha Sarandium, Ha Kudazayandium, Ha Khayayaldium, wa Ha'agwakyim, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, the water among. In the English, bless you Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yahana, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. We're going to get the prayer. We're going to get the prayer of the curses. All right? And the prayer of the curses. The prayer of the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, in all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses, in punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses, in punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force the riches to enter thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses, in punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nations and the drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Egyptology, Aryan Nation, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space programs, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street. Open up the internet and the airwaves, the cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict the spirits of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plagues shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahushua, Michael, and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it's the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media, throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahushua, thank you, so be it. We're going to get blessed Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, Barak Lanawa, Wa Yasha'ala, Waha Bayak Sapoyim, Barak, Rapah, Magun, Hagun, Ba'ashim Yahushua, the water Aman. What we just said in the English, this is us up here, it's like it's just me up here. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, bless us and Israel and the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones. In the name of Yahushua, thank you, so be it. Sar, which means to turn. The Shabium for the Akwakian can now be seated. The men of Israel. All right, the brothers keep standing. All right, the men of Israel. We're going to give a Christian salute to the brothers. All right, men of Israel. Madam Shabbat. Hamadi. Barak. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua Barakatuh. Yanamata. Saw La Agwakian, which means turn and face the sisters. Men of Israel. We're going to give a courteous salute to the sisters. All right? Men of Israel. It's like Agwakian, Amadim, we need to understand. Men of Israel. Amadim Shabbat. Amadim. Barak. Yahweh Shemar, Lathan Bar Shem Yahushai. Yanamata. So, with that, class dismissed.